You can graduate with a PhD from MIT and yet be internally blind. You will be living in this world and living for this world and have no consciousness at all in your heart that there is a reality beyond material reality. Because instead of worshipping Allah, you're worshipping Dajjal. You know, he sees with one eye, the left eye, and he's blind with in the right eye. It looks like a bulging grip, but your Lord is not one-eyed. You know that between his eyes on his forehead is written the word kafir, disbeliever, and every mu'min will be able to see it. So George Bush can't see it. Huh? Every mu'min will be able to see it. The mu'min is the one who has faith in the heart, not the barbarians who are now dropping bombs indiscriminately on little children and on women and on masajid. And they have no shame. They're worse than animals. No ethics of warfare. And these are the people who invite us to follow them. They have the road to progress. If you think like that, you should buy a one-way ticket to Disneyland. Stay there and don't come back. Every mu'min will be able to read the word kafir, whether you are literate or illiterate. And we have suggested, and Allah knows best, that the left eye symbolizes external sight. Therefore, knowledge externally acquired, a PhD from MIT in Boston. And we have suggested that the blind right eye symbolizes internal blindness. And when you are internally blind, you will eventually come to the conclusion that knowledge comes only from external observation, scientific inquiry. And since this is, now listen carefully, I just mentioned this yesterday at Twin Towers, Petronas. Since knowledge comes from only external observation and scientific inquiry, then the only world that we can know is the world that we can observe. Since this is the only world we can observe, this is the only world we can know, that methodology, that epistemology. When you come to the conclusion that this is the only world that we can know, you eventually conclude that this is the only world that exists. And that's where they are, with all their university degrees. That's where they are, for all practical purposes. This is the only world that exists. And anything in religion beyond that is only, they call it window dressing. If this is the only world that exists, then there is no reality beyond material reality. Welcome to materialism. Welcome to the modern world. Welcome to humanity today who are living with a spiritual vacuum. They have eyes and yet they cannot see. Most of them are politicians, eh? I make no excuse for that comment. They have eyes and yet they cannot see. They have ears and yet they cannot hear. They have hearts and yet they do not understand, says Allah in the Quran. In Surah Al-A'raf. Ulaika kal-an'am, they are just like cattle. بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. Rather, they are more misguided than